A young man stands alone in the middle of New York City, singing his heart out. Thousands pass him, no one stops. His voice begins to break. He lowers his guitar and whispers, "Maybe."
I was never meant to be heard.
Then he sees a sign across the street, "Live singer wanted." He hesitates. This moment will either change his life or end his dream forever. Jerry, listen carefully. Willow Creek was the kind of town people passed through, not a place they stayed to chase dreams. That was where Ethan Cole, a 14-year-old orphan, lived. He stayed in a small wooden house behind Miss Harper grocery shop. She wasn't his real grandmother, but she treated him like family. Life was simple, stocking shelves, sweeping floors, and helping customers. But Ethan had one escape: music. Every evening, after work, he would sit behind the shop with his old guitar and sing. His voice carried softly across the field. People started noticing. One day, during the town fair, Miss Harper pushed him onto a small stage. He was nervous. His hands trembled. But when he sang, everything changed. The crowd fell silent. Even the busiest farmers stopped to listen. When he finished, there was a moment of stillness. Then applause. That evening, sitting under the open sky, Ethan whispered, "There has to be more than this." For the first time, he allowed himself to dream beyond Willow Creek. Ethan grew into an 18-year-old young man, taller, stronger, but still carrying the same dream. His voice had matured. It was deeper, richer, more powerful. People in Willow Creek now knew him as the boy who could sing. But praise in a small town wasn't enough. One evening, Ethan sat with Miss Harper outside the shop. "I want to go to New York," he said quietly. She didn't respond immediately. She knew what the world could do to dreamers, but she also knew what regret could do. The next morning, she handed him an envelope. It contained her savings. "If you are going, go fully. Don't look back halfway." Ethan packed his guitar, a few clothes, and a heart full of belief. As the bus left Willow Creek, he watched the only home he knew disappear. He smiled. He thought success would come easily, quickly. He was wrong. New York City didn't welcome Ethan. It ignored him. At 18, he arrived full of excitement. Lights, tall buildings, endless movement. It felt like opportunity. But days passed. No one cared. He went to music studios. He was rejected. Auditions ignored. Emails unanswered. Money started running out. He found a cheap place to stay, barely enough to survive. For the first time, doubt appeared. Maybe I'm not as good as I thought. Still, he kept trying because going back felt like failure. Weeks turned into months. Ethan, now 19, began singing on the streets. At first, he believed people would stop like they did in Willow Creek. They didn't. Most walked past, some dropped coins without even listening. A few laughed. The city was loud and it drowned him out. Rainy nights were the worst. Cold, hungry, invisible. One evening, he was soaked and exhausted. He sat on a curb and whispered, maybe home wasn't so small. Maybe it was enough. For the first time, he truly considered giving up. As he turned to leave, something caught his eyes. A glowing sign across the street, "Live singer wanted." He hesitated. It felt small compared to his dream, but he had nothing left to lose. He walked in. The manager, Mr. Daniels, looked unimpressed. "You think you can sing?" Ethan nodded. He performed. The room slowly went quiet.
Spending the night in Dixon, 60-odd miles from a plan.
For the first time in the city, people listened.
Is it too late to learn to listen? Too late to be less a man? How many yesterdays are between us now?
He got the job.
How many yesterdays
Hideaway Music Cafe became Ethan's anchor. At 20 to 21, he finally had stability, food, a small income, a place where his voice mattered. He sang every night. Customers started coming back just to hear him. Some requested for songs, some shared stories, some cried quietly while he performed. For the first time since he left home, Ethan felt seen, but inside he still wanted more because deep down he knew this isn't the final stage. One afternoon, everything changed. A woman walked into the Hideaway Music Cafe. Her name was Ava Reynolds. She was in her early 30s, calm, confident, and observant. A music producer, she sat quietly and listened as Ethan sang.
That girl is a runner. She was born to get away. Hear that two-tone humming, headed out to the highway. I should have seen it coming through the years left in the dust. But after all the lessons learned, it would end the both of us. There's a first for everything, like her hand holding mine. Now I'm left here with the pain from her I love you goodbye.
Unlike others, she didn't react emotionally. She studied him, his tone, his control, his presence. When he finished, she didn't clap. She simply asked a staff member, "Who is he?" "Ethan," the waiter replied. "He sings here every night." Ava nodded once. Her eyes fixed on the stage. Then she left without speaking to Ethan. But something had already shifted. The next day, Ava returned. This time, she stayed longer. After Ethan finished singing, she walked up to him. "You don't belong here," she said. Ethan was confused and slightly defensive. "This is where I work." She smiled slightly. "Exactly." She introduced herself. At first, Ethan didn't fully believe her. The city had taught him to be careful, but Ava didn't promise him fame. She offered something different. "I can help you become what you are meant to be, but it won't be easy." He paused, then said, "Nothing has been easy." Ethan, now 21 to 22, began training under Ava. It was harder than anything he expected. She pushed him to control his voice, to understand music deeply, to face his weakness. There were arguments, frustrations, moments he wanted to quit, but Ava never gave up on him. Slowly, Ethan improved, not just as a singer, but as an artist. Then one day, she said, "You are ready to be seen." She arranged a meeting with Marcus King, a globally known artist. Ethan felt the pressure. This was everything. Ethan performed in front of Marcus King. No distractions, no second chances. Just him and his voice.
50 odd miles from a plan.
When he finished, the room was silent. Then Marcus nodded. "You've got something real." Ethan received his first contract. It wasn't instant fame, but it was a door. He continued working at the Hideaway while recording music, balancing both worlds.
How many yesterdays?
As time passed, Ethan and Ava grew closer. Late-night studio sessions turned into deep conversations. They understood each other, their struggles, their ambitions, their fears. Feeling developed slowly and naturally, but they stayed focused because success still wasn't guaranteed. At 23, everything changed. Ethan collaborated with Marcus King on a major song. It went viral. Radio stations played it. People started recognizing his voice. For the first time, the world was listening. He made a difficult decision. He left the Hideaway Music Cafe, not because he forgot it, but because he had outgrown it. He so much believed he could handle global attention, even if it wasn't easy. Fame wasn't easy. At 23 to 24, Ethan faced pressure, he faced criticism, expectations. People started judging him, compared him, demanded more. He missed simplicity, he missed Willow Creek, but he kept going because now he had something to protect, his purpose. Ethan returned to Willow Creek, not as a dreamer, but as a proof. Miss Harper saw him and broke down in tears. "You did it." Ethan smiled softly and said, "We did." The town gathered, the same place where it all started, but now he stood as someone transformed. Ethan married Ava, not just the woman he loved, but the one who believed in him before the world did. Years later, he stood on a massive stage. Thousands of people were listening. Lights was shining, but in his heart, he remembered the street lights.
We were sparks on quiet streets, two hearts finding where to meet. But life pulled us apart,
not for
left me
fame,
talking to
but for
the
every
dark.
person still chasing a dream.
If I called you tonight, would it feel the same? Or have we both moved on to different names? Take me back to the start, before the quiet and the scars. When the world felt small and your hands felt warm. Take me back to the start, if only for a moment.
Success is not quick, dreams are not easy, but persistence changes everything. Subscribe to Story Rush for more stories.